When it looks like there's a group of black women that has attacked Caitlin Clark and her fan base online, ruffling old.
A group of commentators just went off on Caitlin Clark live during a stream, and what they said left the entire WNBA community stunned. There was no filter, no hesitation, just pure criticism aimed directly at her and her fans. Their remarks were harsh, personal, and surprisingly disrespectful for a public broadcast. The clip spread fast, sparking a massive debate online. Are people crossing the line with these kinds of attacks? Or is this just the reality of being a star athlete under the spotlight?
I totally agree with that, and I also think that that some of the new fans got a rude awakening when they did come to the W, because what happened was their fave was not the best. And so that was their issue. Like, I get that she was the rookie of the year. I understand that. But you're also battling and competing with people like Collier, with people like your own teammate, Kelsey Mitchell, with other people who, like we've all said, have been here for a while, like the Brianna Stewarts, who have been here. So I'm confused as to why, like Diane Taurasi said, this is a grown woman's game, baby. So, but we're going to change the subject.
So here's what went down. During a live panel on a streaming show called Playback, the conversation somehow shifted to Caitlin Clark. And that's when things got ugly. The women on the panel didn't just critique her game. They went all in, tearing apart her abilities, accomplishments, and even her fans. This wasn't measured analysis or fair discussion. It came across like a personal attack. One panelist started by mocking how Caitlin's fans entered the WNBA scene, expecting her to dominate instantly, calling their optimism delusional. She argued that Clark's rookie season, while impressive, proved she wasn't the league's best player. Not when she's facing veterans like Aya Wilson, Brianna Stewart, and even her own teammate Kelsey Mitchell. Her tone wasn't analytical, it was dismissive, almost smug, as if she was taking pleasure in humbling Clark's supporters. Then came the quote that blew up online. The panelist echoed Diana Taurasi's famous line, "This is a grown woman's game." The message was unmistakable. Caitlin might have been a college superstar, but the WNBA is a whole different level, and she's nothing special here. Just another player trying to survive among established pros. Fans watching the stream were stunned. The entire segment felt more like a targeted takedown than sports commentary. What started as a discussion about the league quickly turned into a debate about whether Caitlin Clark's rise has created jealousy, resentment, or just honest frustration among some in the WNBA community.
You have no motion. You have 131 followers, and you're speaking on CC.
But here's where things really took a turn. After ripping into Caitlin Clark and questioning her talent, the panel suddenly tried to switch topics, almost like they realized they'd crossed a line, but didn't care enough to back it up. They threw their shots, made their points, and moved on like nothing happened. But it was a big deal. Within hours, clips of their rant spread across social media. Sparking outraged Caitlin's fans wasted no time firing back. They flooded the comments, quote-tweeted the video, and called the panelists out for being bitter, jealous, and disrespectful. Many pointed out the irony. These same commentators used to complain about the WNBA not getting enough attention, yet now that Caitlin has brought millions of new eyes and record-breaking viewership to the league, they're the first to tear her down. The backlash was intense, and the hypocrisy didn't go unnoticed. For many, it felt like pure resentment disguised as honest criticism.
I think a lot of these old guard WNBA media reporters, old guard WNBA fans is happy as hell. I truly think they happy. The fandom is over. The hype is over. Caitlyn stuff is over. They can go back to normal. Being in a...
What makes this whole situation even more frustrating is the timing. The WNBA just wrapped up its most successful season ever. And let's be honest, Caitlin Clark was the driving force behind it. Attendance skyrocketed. TV ratings hit record highs, merchandise sold out, and social media engagement exploded. The league made more money this year than it has in decades. all because Caitlyn brought mainstream attention that women's basketball had never seen before. She's the reason millions of new fans started watching games and buying jerseys. Yet instead of celebrating that success, a portion of longtime WNBA fans and media voices seem resentful. They don't like that Caitlyn dominates the headlines, that casual fans are tuning in for her, or that the spotlight has shifted away from the players they've supported for years. So rather than embracing the growth she sparked, they look for ways to downplay her impact and take shots at her and her fan base, a move that feels more petty than protective of the league.
I said what I said. You said what you said, huh? You said, oh yeah, you is definitely
Let's be honest about what's really going on here. Caitlin Clark is a white player in a league that's predominantly black, and that fact alone has stirred up deep tension. Some people are uncomfortable with her becoming the face of the WNBA. They see her massive media coverage, her sponsorship deals, and her highlight reels on every platform, and they think it's unfair or even racist that she's getting more attention than black players who are equally or even more talented. And truthfully, that's not an unreasonable concern. The WNBA has long struggled with how it markets its black stars compared to its white ones. That imbalance is real and deserves serious discussion. Players like Aya Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and others have spent years building their legacies while receiving only a fraction of the attention Caitlyn has received in her first season. But here's where things go wrong. Turning that frustration into personal attacks on Caitlin Clark doesn't fix anything. It just makes the league look divided and insecure. If the goal is to elevate black players, the answer isn't to tear Caitlyn down. It's to lift others up, celebrate their success, build stories and campaigns around them. Give fans reasons to care about more than one player. Because the reality is, Caitlin Clark is talented, works relentlessly, and has earned her spot in the league. You can acknowledge her impact without dismissing the need for broader representation. Both ideas can coexist, and they should. What those commentators on Playback revealed wasn't just resentment toward Caitlyn. It exposed a larger frustration simmering within parts of the WNBA community. Many longtime fans seem relieved that the Caitlyn hype is slowing down now that the offseason has arrived. Social media engagement is dipping, YouTube views are falling, and the buzz that surrounded every Fever game has started to fade. And instead of worrying about how to keep that momentum going, some people are celebrating it. They'd rather return to a smaller, insular fan base that focuses only on players they already support, even if it means losing millions of new viewers who came because of Caitlyn. That mindset is baffling when you think about it. The WNBA has spent decades struggling for visibility, fighting for higher pay, and begging for mainstream attention. Then Caitlin Clark comes along and provides exactly that. Ticket sales spike, TV ratings surge, merchandise flies off shelves, and somehow, instead of embracing the moment, parts of the community are rooting for the hype to fade. But here's the harsh truth. The WNBA can't afford that kind of thinking. The league survives on sponsorships, broadcast deals, and fan interest, all of which depend on growth. Without a steady influx of new fans, money dries up, and when that happens, salaries stagnate, marketing shrinks, and players continue to face poor working conditions. The idea that shrinking back into a niche comfort zone will protect the league is completely backwards. The WNBA needs mainstream popularity to thrive, not to mention to give all its players, not just Caitlyn, the platform and pay they deserve. That there's also the public perception problem. Imagine being a casual fan who discovered the WNBA through Caitlin Clark, only to tune into a live stream and hear commentators mocking her and her supporters. Why would that person stick around? Why would they continue to invest in a league that seems hostile toward the very player who brought them there? That kind of negativity doesn't just hurt Caitlyn. It damages the WNBA's brand. It tells new fans, you're not welcome unless you've been here from the start. And that brings us to one of the most ridiculous parts of the Playback discussion. Their attempt to downplay Caitlyn's Rookie of the Year award. They acknowledged she won it, but immediately dismissed it, saying she's just another player competing against established stars. That's how professional sports work. Every rookie faces that challenge. The fact that Caitlyn not only held her own, but thrived against elite veterans makes her season even more impressive. But let's look at the facts. Caitlyn averaged over 19 points and 8 assists per game. She led the entire league in assists as a rookie. She shattered multiple first-year records. And she transformed the Indiana Fever, one of the league's worst teams a year ago, into a playoff contender. That's not hype. That's production. Those are tangible results that prove her value on the court. Yet somehow, instead of celebrating those achievements, certain corners of the media are trying to rewrite the narrative, painting her as overrated or undeserving now that her rookie season is over. It's a pattern we've seen before in women's sports. When someone breaks through and becomes a household name, instead of uniting around that success, the conversation turns toxic. Caitlin Clark didn't create the marketing disparities in the WNBA. She didn't decide who gets sponsorships or coverage. She just showed up, performed, and brought millions of new eyes to a league that's been asking for attention for years. If anything, she opened the door for other players to finally get the recognition they deserve, if the league and its community are willing to walk through it. Attacking her doesn't move women's basketball forward. It drags it backward. During the season, even Caitlin Clark's harshest critics had to admit she was producing at a high level. The numbers didn't lie, and neither did the wins. But now that basketball's over, the noise has started again, and it's louder than ever. Suddenly, people are rewriting the story. The new narrative? That Caitlin wasn't actually that good. That her fans are delusional. That she only got attention because she's white. That other rookies were just as good or better. It's revisionist history, and it's being pushed deliberately to tear down her accomplishments. The racial dynamics behind this are complicated and uncomfortable, but they can't be ignored. Yes, Caitlin benefits from being a white player in a league where most of the talent is black. She gets more corporate deals, more media attention, and more coverage overall. That's an undeniable truth, not just in basketball, but across all of sports media. Black athletes have been overlooked and undervalued for decades, and the WNBA is no exception. Players like Aya Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and others have had to work twice as hard for half the recognition. That's not fair, and it's absolutely something that deserves to be talked about. But here's where people are going wrong. Attacking Caitlin personally isn't the solution. She didn't create this system. She's just thriving in the one that exists. If the WNBA and its media partners genuinely want to fix the disparity, they need to take action. Promote black stars with the same energy. Create compelling storylines around them. Build marketing campaigns that highlight the diversity and talent across the league instead of relying on one player to carry the entire brand. That's how you create real balance, not by tearing down the person who's currently helping your sport grow. And it's not like Caitlin's done anything to deserve this backlash. She doesn't talk trash. She doesn't put herself above anyone. She plays hard, stays humble, and consistently gives credit to her teammates and opponents. She's handled the pressure of being the most famous player in women's basketball with a maturity that most pros twice her age would struggle with. Yet, despite all that, she's still treated as the villain by certain corners of the WNBA community. Then there's the timing, and that's what makes this latest situation so suspicious. This whole stream happened right as the WNBA is entering a crucial moment, with ongoing labor negotiations and talk of a potential lockout. The league needs unity right now more than ever. It needs its players, media, and fans pulling in the same direction. Instead, you've got commentators on a public platform tearing down the player most responsible for the league's recent surge in popularity. It's self-destructive behavior, plain and simple. And you have to wonder what the panelists thought they were accomplishing. Did they really believe Caitlin's fans would hear those comments and suddenly change their minds? Did they think they were offering some kind of bold, fresh analysis? Or were they just venting frustration and chasing clout by saying the most inflammatory thing possible?